go, boom. And we are recording, yay.
So anyway, so we're here right now. I'm hanging out with my really good friend, Andi West. How are
Hi.
you tonight?
I'm
It's
good.
Christmas Eve. We both got our bass
I
guitars.
think it's Christmas morning now, technically.
I think it is actually.
Yeah.
Well, in New York time, it's 5:51. I'm just sitting here, chain smoking cigarettes, having a little slushy. I'm going to talk to Annie until my battery on my computer dies. And when I see the indication, I'm probably at this point just going to run over there, grab my charger, plug it in so we can keep this conversation going. So anyway, what we were talking about just before, aside from the fact that, yes, indeed, America, I do have a lisp. Not a gay guy, okay, but I do have a lisp. We were trying to say esthetician. I don't think you can say
Esthetician, you can't say without. It's like judicial system. You can't say that without sounding drunk.
Judicial system, yeah, and I sound drunk all the time, no matter whether I'm drunk or I'm sober. So it's just like, one thing or the other going on here. But what we were talking about was the Jessica and Eve thing. Let's just start with that, okay?
Good.
So Jessica and Eve is a trans woman in Canada, in Canada, that country north of ours.
Canada's a hoax. It's not real.
Yes.
The whole country of white people that are really polite and don't litter. It's
well, you know what? Canada is quickly turning into a country that's not all white people. They've imported a non-white class to ensure that the I know you don't like the word leftist, but that the Trudeau government stays in power because non-white voters tend to vote, whatever the left-wing party is in Canada, Democrat, or they actually call them liberals there.
I think basically the hoax are just doing that to play it up to try and scare America into doing more right-wing stuff. It's all a hoax. A place north of Buffalo, New York. Come on.
Trust me, it's only about 4 hours north of where I am. Okay.
No, that's Antarctica. That's Antarctica. That's got to be Antarctica up there.
No, Antarctica would be like.
Yeah, it's all around us. It's all around us.
Oh my God! I got to tell you the story about me going to Germany. That's funny, but anyway. So Jessica and Eve is a trans woman, and you know how I never misgender anyone.
I never do either.
Am I? You've known me for what, 5-6 years now? 7 years?
You're actually better about it than I am. I misgender everyone. I fuck it up constantly. I was going to change my name to misgender for a while because I'm like, I'm sorry, dude. Sure, whatever. Fuck it. I give up.
Well, anyway, I don't misgender anyone because, one, I don't want to get arrested if I ever go to Canada. Canada. Two, I just think it's really disrespectful, and whatever someone identifies as, really, that's okay with me because I'm okay, you're okay, we're both okay. Okay.
Let me explain it from my point of view. Okay, like before I came out as trans, like I looked like this forever, but a little bit when I went to jail, I came out looking rather masculine, and all my friends when I went back to being a tranny, they all suddenly started talking like Hulk Hogan. Like they'd never ever said things like, "Brother, let me tell you this, brother." But now that's all they say to me. I'm just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like nobody ever called me brother ever in my life until I came out as trans, and then it's all everybody's Hulk Hogan talking to me. So I just Ric Flair him back. And they do brother to me, I just go, woo!
Ric Flair him back, yeah!
Yeah, no, I have to. It's the only way to fight.
For anyone who's watching this right now, the first time I met Andy or Ange, I call you Ange, and that's just because, that was
the fuck out of somebody, but don't misgender them.
Right. Well, I don't even, I call you Angela because when I met you on OkCupid, it was your name was Angela, and I was like, okay, cool. And then I didn't hear from you for what, like 18 months, and there was a reason. There was a reason why, right?
Yeah.
And can I?
No, go ahead. Explain. Yeah.
Angela had a little legal trouble.
A bit hunted down by the FBI. Yeah, that type of thing.
I know, right? And I'm not going to say for what. It wasn't a violent crime. Hacking.
But not somebody else.
Right. Okay. So as long as she's cool with it, I'm cool.
It's the only thing you can possibly get arrested for that you immediately put on your resume. Come on, hacking is It's on my resume. It's on my resume. It's the top item.
Right. Right, I know, it's great. It's like that is so cool. You know, yeah, she went to jail for hacking, and people just like they're like, wow, your girlfriend went to jail for hacking? That's like so cool, dude.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
everybody's like, wow, that's so cool. But
Straight up, yeah, it is. Nobody's ever looked down on me for it. Never.
I don't. I mean, I personally don't. You know, if you can steal without a gun, I mean, that's
Computers are more
that's a
powerful.
talent.
Yeah.
I got my let it snow cup here with still got my vodka and orange juice slushy. And what are you having, Lavaris? Oh, you got the Windex. Yeah,
I like to keep it clean on the inside.
You must have seen my video.
No, didn't see it.
Oh, you got to see my video about the Civil War in Virginia. The first thing I do is do a big blast of Windex, simulated. You know, I didn't actually.
I see. Yeah, totally.
Well, my dog, I go home at night, I kick my dog, and he started screwing me. So one night, he put Ajax into my cocaine. Well, I might be a little fucked up, but baby, you know what I'm saying? I'm clean. That's an old joke I stole from somebody. I remember that joke actually from the 70s. So anyway, so you ended up in federal prison.
Yes, in the care of the U.S. Marshals on diesel therapy for 9 months, and then in prison for 3 months.
So how long were you actually incarcerated?
1 year, 1 day.
And at that point, did you have to detransition?
Oh no, they stuck me in Charlie 400 in New Mexico. Like New Mexico has the pod, the most ultra-violent pod. It's the pod where everybody's in there has killed like multiple people. And they stuck me off the street. They took my white collar ass and threw me in that pod for 2 months. It was the first place I went to. So I had to detransition. It's a weird thing. Like people in maximum security are the most polite people you'll ever meet because anything goes off, everybody dies. It's just the way it is.
Right. Right.
They were great. I could make booze, so they left me alive and they didn't rape me to death because they wanted booze more than they wanted someone looked like a chick. And they just shaved my head immediately and made me go work out. But so I came out looking a lot more masculine than I ever had before in my life. Yeah.
Well, when I first met you in person, you still had the short haircut. I mean, I loved you anyway. I mean, it was like
it wasn't like this. No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. You weren't quite as beautiful as you are now. You're still gorgeous, though. I missed the purple hair. I really missed that purple wig. You know, I
still have it. I'm just, it itches. I don't put it on.
Well, I remember when we went to the vape shop.
Yeah.
And the guy, he misgendered you. He called you a he, and I was just like sitting there, like, should I hit this guy now or should I wait?
I don't want to hit anybody in New Mexico. This is the most violent place in the world.
Yeah, and so I don't misgender people. I think it's disrespectful.
No, that's totally cool. Thank you. That's awesome, and thank you for never talking to me like Hulk Hogan.
Right. So anyway, so Jessica Yaniv, she was a Twitter pater. I don't know what you call it, Twitter pater.
Influencer. You know? An influencer.
Influencer, right. But Jessica Yaniv, formerly known as Jonathan Yaniv. Okay.
So Yaniv is an actual original name. That's the one I would have thought was fake.
No, Yaniv is her real last name. Okay. So now she's Jessica Yaniv, and honey, you've got to look at pictures of her. I did a little video about her versus Blair White. Now, Blair White is one of my favorite trans influencer, social influencers. She's a conservative. I know you're not crazy about conservatives, but she basically exposed Jessica Yaniv. Jessica Yaniv and Blair were doing a live stream, kind of like we're doing now. So Jessica whipped out a stun gun. She's like, "Well, I got protection." Yeah, you'd have to watch the videos and stuff. It's so hard for me to reiterate this to you at this point. But she filed a suit with the Human Rights Tribunal in Canada. Okay, in I don't know, Vancouver or BC or whatever the hell she is. Because they were immigrant estheticians, because that girls came to this country. The reason why there's so many Vietnamese and Asian nail technicians is because what was her name? The big celebrity woman brought them in to do nails. I don't know if it wasn't Jane Fonda. It was but it was some I forgot.
Also, because
Now.
we kind of we sprayed dioxins over the entire country, and everybody's born there with birth defects, so they had to get out of Vietnam, of course, because we fucked that place up. So they come
Right.
here. Yeah.
And what's
I
the
don't.
least they could do is just come here and make sure that all my girlfriend's toenails look meticulously beautiful. Oh my God, yeah, so fucking. I was just gonna say something though. Love your nails though, by the way. Oh my God, show them again. Oh my God, yeah. No, I was gonna say just so all my girlfriend's toenails look so perfect when I go into my foot fetish, mode. So but anyway, so she filed suit against these. Jessica and Eve filed suit in Canadian Human Rights Tribunal against these estheticians who would not wax her hairy balls.
Well,
And
what was the reason why they weren't waxing? Were they not waxing because they didn't want to see balls, or were they not waxing because it's not a safe thing to do? You should not ever wax anyone's balls. It's not.
Well,
they're not approved for ball waxing. There's no wax in the world that's ever been approved by any agency for ball waxing. It's terrible.
okay, I'm glad I got your opinion on it, because your opinion carries 100 times more weight than mine does.
First off, I mean, there is somewhat of a double standard in the world where most people don't mind looking at a vagina, but someone's balls they don't want to see. Honestly, it's because one's more attractive than the other. But,
right. Well,
there's serious health risks to waxing your balls, because you can hurt the vas deferens, you can hurt the internal workings by yanking something off of it really quickly. They're the most fragile thing ever alive. So balls are not something to be waxed.
Right.
I made the mistake once of Brazilian waxing my balls, and like I said, did it myself. Once it's on, it's only coming off one way, and I regretted that every moment.
Well, I gotta tell you something. I would shave yours anytime you'd like me to. I mean, I know how hard it is to shave my own balls. It would be so much easier if I had somebody else there to do it. So if you ever need someone, trust me, honey.
Hold a really sharp blade up against my ball. No, I'm good. Maybe a doctor, but nobody else.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, for you, I wouldn't have any problem handling yours. So yeah, I don't know what that makes me.
You're not an Asian esthetician, so.
Right. Well, anyway, what I'm saying is it's a completely different skill set.
Yep.
Waxing male genitalia than it is waxing female genitalia. So these estheticians refused. They said, we're not doing it. And so basically Yaniv took them to Human Rights Tribunal. Now, these were immigrant people.
Yeah. They're the ones the tribunal is supposed to protect, yeah.
Right. And they got put out of business.
It's fucked up because the whole thing was probably a setup, because she had to come up with something where she could find something to do. She could have her gay wedding cake, and it's not. Sorry, but the cake cake is made the same for anybody. You're making the same cake, and if you're and Jesus never said anything against homosexuality. He said a lot of things against many things, but like give all your wealth to the poor. But I didn't say anything. He never said anything about homosexuality. That's Old Testament. That's the covenant of Abraham, and unless you're one of Abraham's kids, it doesn't apply to you. So that's just ridiculous shit. But no, the gay wedding cake guys, they were just homophobic pricks who wouldn't sell a cake to somebody. Make a fucking cake.
Okay, and I have to agree with you. I was taught in Sunday school Jesus loved everyone.
Yeah.
And
also, God is everything, right? God is everything, right? Then God is every gay person's ever lived. So God hates himself. If that's your God, if your God has that many weird insecurities that he hates himself constantly, maybe he should go see a therapist. God in the Old Testament Bible talks just like Trump.
Yeah, well,
just like Trump, exactly. Trump might be sent from God because he talks the same way. It's like, I'm the only God. There's no other gods. Have no other gods before me, even though I'm the only one. I'm the only one. There's only one, only me. But those other guys that you don't know that don't exist, don't ever follow them.
Yeah. I have to. You know what? I don't want to get too much into the whole Trump thing right now, because God knows the FBI is probably watching both of us at this point.
They're watching me anyway, so they're seeing this no matter what.
That's okay.
Convicted hacker.
They can watch me because the most dangerous thing I have in the entire world is this bass guitar.
You ever cut through a string? Like cut straight through one?
What's that?
You ever cut a string in half? Like cut the string, not where it unwound, but where it actually snapped clean? Cut?
Oh yeah, tons of times. They usually break right here over the bridge.
Where did it go? Where did it go when it broke?
What's that?
Where did it go when it broke?
It just went. I mean,
that's an unwind. That's when it unwinds right there. But that's, you know what I mean, like cutting all through all of them at once. I use
no,
Jazz threes.
I've had it where it actually has broken through the entire thing, and it just kind of like and it just went. And it was the A string, and I hit it, and it didn't even unwind, because usually when it unwinds, it's like, okay, and then you're sitting there, so you got to pull it and like get it. This just snapped, and it just kind of went off the nut, and it was just hanging down here like sweet in the breeze. And my guitar player, it was the New Year's Eve show we did, I think 2 years ago. It was on my Black Music Man. That happened. And I'm just like, yeah. And then, of course, each guitar player broke a string that night. Kevin, as a matter of fact, broke 2 strings that night. And I think he brought, no, maybe that was a different gig, but one gig he broke 2 strings, but he broke both guitars with Floyd Rose tremolos on them.
Mm-hmm.
So the string change was, we actually had to stop the show so he could like change his strings on his guitar. But
I think I know my guitarist is we're on stage, and he's got a brand new Randy Rhoads Flying V back in like 1990, and I cut right through the E string, and it went forward, it went that way, and it came back with his strings and his EMGs hanging from the end of it.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, it snapped into his system and came right back out of it. Yeah, it snapped like a weapon. It's like,
really?
I wish I could do that to the chick who just told us to play Freebird.
Yeah. Well, you know, I've never done that with a bass guitar string, but I have seen a tow cable from a tow truck snap.
Yeah.
And freaking, I've heard stories where it snapped and it comes flying, it like cut some guy's legs off. But this cable snapped. Nobody was standing there, but it actually did come back and slice into like I mean, there was snow on the ground because that's what it was when I worked for the phone company. The phone truck was stuff. But anyway, the guy was doing like a pull off angles. He was angling off of tree stumps. But when that cable snapped, it freaking came back and then went whack, and it just sliced through like all the shit that was on the side of the road. Yeah. So I don't know. Anyway,
that's what my bass string did. It went, I mean, literally, it took out like, it was a brand new like $2,000 guitar, and I took all the hardware with it. Just it came back, and I'm like, whoops, I guess I'll play on the A string now.
Well,
I didn't restring, but yeah, I just went up an octave.
If that was me and that was my $2,000 guitar, I'd have been fucking probably a little bit perturbed.
Oh, he was.
Yeah.
To me about my Jazz threes, but I like Jazz threes, so yeah.
I when I was in Von Helsing, both of the guitar players, each one had a Randy Rhoads guitar, and they both had a King V. Mm-hmm. Okay, and this is back. I'll have to show you my Jacksons. Yeah. My Jacksons are stacked in the back room right now. I have the one Jackson concert bass that has no pickups.
Yep.
It's got the Pizio and the bridge, and then I have my original Ferrari red Jackson with the precision and the humbucker in it.
Mm-hmm.
And that bass is serial number J0225. So it's one of the really early ones.
Yeah.
So when I was in Von Helsing, we hauled guitars like that. And back then, those guitars were like $1,200 to $1,500 guitars. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking 1986 money.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
You know, and that's back when they used to make them in this country. So it's just like amazing.
Paint jobs, just incredible paint jobs on those things. Yeah.
Oh, well, Andy's Rhoads guitar had the Michael Schenker black and white cookie paint job. Mm-hmm. And then he had a like an electric blue, you know, like my Rickenbacker or my you know, or my Fenderbird. If you watch my videos, you'll see the Fenderbird. That was Andy's color of his King V. Bobby had the he had the Rhoads guitar. It was like kind of the Randy Rhoads paint job, but then he bought a King V with the yellow crackle finish, which was just like one of those ones. Remember them? They used to dip them and stuff.
Yeah, I know. So I had a Warbird. I had a BC Rich Warbird that was done. I did it myself. I sanded it down and did crackle because I got the weird Flexstone paint and did it. Stuff. Yeah. I actually came back to the house. That bass made it all the way back last winter. Ray brought it with him, so I repaired it again for him and sent him off again with the bass with brand new EMGs and stuff in it. It's ancient. I had it back in '91, I think. I had it back in '85. I got it, and then it got the paint job. Somebody threw Everclear on me on stage and threw a lighter after it, so the paint job got kind of cooked. So I sanded it off and put on the Flexstone. It was pretty cool. It sucked.
Why did they throw Everclear on you and then a lighter?
Because that's where they say hi in Albuquerque. Beat spit.
That's the way they say it.
Beat spit. I'm cool with it.
I'm so glad we got this recorded. That's the way they say hi in Albuquerque. That's so great. We like that's got to be like our catchphrase. That's how you say hi in Albuquerque. It's like bang.
Yeah, Albuquerque keeps coming up with different slogans, and none of them stick because the slogan for Albuquerque is "Welcome to Albuquerque, fuck you." So, that's what everybody says here. It's just the way it is.
Well, Albuquerque is the only place that I've ever been where I was in the liquor aisle at Walmart. Of course, there's no liquor aisle in Walmart in New York.
It's a section. It's not a aisle.
Right. Well, I was like, when I walked into your Walmart, I was like, hey, where do I find the liquor section? And like, oh, it's out in the back next to the handguns.
Yeah, it is.
You know?
Everything goes around the handguns now. It's nice.
Yeah, well, they don't have Walmart doesn't sell handguns anymore.
They still do here, I think.
Well, actually, no, they're not selling handguns. And matter of fact, they've even discontinued the sale of any ammunition that can be used in an assault pistol.
But the pharmacy still kills out serotonin reuptake inhibitors, don't they?
Right.
Yeah, so then they're not really solving any problems, are they?
Right. No.
It's the only commonality. All the shooters are all on Zoloft or Prozac or Paxil.
Right.
Yeah.
Prozac's still legal.
Nobody else would buy a fucking AR-15. That's a stupid gun. Get an AK.
You know what, honey? I took your advice.
You get the
so now I have both. I took your advice. Now I have both. Okay.
Which gun did you get?
I got the Riley. Like I said, I got the Riley because that's the only one I could find that was New York State compliant.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. We have the New York State Safe Act. I'm probably going to do a video on that too one of these days. It's just so stupid because instead of a pistol grip, they just have this thing. It's called like a spur, and it's there's no pistol grip. It's like where the pistol grip was. It's like they just cut it off flat. So you just put the web of your hand into the thing. And you put your trigger into the trigger.
Oh, I fucking hate those things. It's got the hole in it. Yeah, those are horrible.
Right, but here's what happened. I mean, I had an accidental discharge with it.
that excited over the AK? Yeah, I understand.
But the thing is, you think you're going to grab the pistol grip. Like the thing slips, you go to grab the pistol grip.
You fire the gun, yeah.
There's no pistol grip to grip because, usually you would have your straight finger across the trigger. So now your finger goes in to grab because all you can grab it with is that, because there's none of these fingers to grab it with. So it's like, bang, it's like, holy shit. But it was pointed downrange.
Don't you just have the basic rifle back? I mean, it goes back into a butt, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's still got the regular butt stock. It's still got everything.
So
but
you have the little sloping area that comes, from the breech basically from the breech goes back and it slopes down. That's where you grab. I've never had one with a pistol grip, honestly.
You've never had an AK with a pistol grip?
No. They don't have pistol grips. They have rifle back. It's the same as an SKS.
I know. Those I remember those ones. They were like the Segas. Yeah, those were pretty cool. But of course they discontinued the importation of them. Obama discontinued.
Get a saw and convert yours.
You know what? I mean, it's just so silly because is the gun the bad thing? Angela, let me ask you.
Is the gun the bad thing? Well, the NRA, like I've said, the NRA has promoted a culture of recklessness and just ignorance about guns. It's unforgivable. That's the problem with them. But they're not pulling the triggers.
Right.
And the guns aren't pulling their own triggers. The people pulling the triggers, the people with no concept of consequence who are going into schools and shooting places up, the one commonality is they're all on a serotonin reuptake inhibitor. They're all on, generally, when it's kids, the FDA never approved Prozac for use on anybody under the age of 18, but doctors put them on it constantly, and then those kids show up at school and shoot people, and they blame the gun. No, it's the fucking pharmaceuticals they're on. I've been on Prozac. Right. On Prozac, you have no concept of consequence. Now, you have no concept of consequence. You fixate, and you have suicidal tendency. You have suicidal ideation from the drug itself. These are all the side effects of the drug, which is listed and known. And you wonder why some kid goes into a school and shoots it up in a suicide run. It's because of the fucking drug. It's the drug every time, every single time. There's never been anybody who ever did that not on one of those drugs. And that's kind of a big thing. But no, did they investigate it? No, of course not.
I never had any trouble until they put me on Prozac.
It's a fucked up drug. PCP is less mind-altering than Prozac.
Right, and that's actually what set me off was the Prozac. Yeah. And then they were like, "Oh, you're bipolar." And I'm like,
"You know what's in Prozac? You know what the primary ingredient is?
What?
Fluoride. Fluoxetine is nothing but fluoride. Prozac is just a fluoride pill.
Really?
It's a chemical restraint, really. Because they try to chemically restrain the population, but the side effects are with kids, you get a different reaction. You get a suicidal psycho with a fucking gun. You know.
I never went. As a matter of fact, when I was on Prozac is actually when I took my original gun collection and I just gave it to my dad and then I gave it to my brother-in-law and then of course my
That was
brother-in-law
the
sold
suicidal
it.
ideation playing itself out.
No, it was me just saying, you know what, I shouldn't be around these things at this point because of this medication I'm on. And of course, then, and mind you, this was 2002, so it's almost 20 years ago. But next thing I'm like, yeah, I'm invincible. I'm driving my Chevy Cavalier down Interstate 88 at 105 miles an hour, and I'm like,
That's
I
scary
wonder
in a
if
car
this.
that rickety.
Well, I was just like saying, you think this thing could survive an impact with the
No.
bridge abutment at this speed?
No.
And this is the things that were going through my brains when I was on Prozac.
Yeah, of course.
And it wasn't until I got off all the medication. Also, I didn't have to work with a bunch of assholes anymore. Can you imagine walking into work well, I know you can, but the average person walking into work every morning, people going, "What are you, queer? What are you, homo?
What are you hitting on me when you want to go out?"
Well, no, it's like, yeah, it's shit like, "Hey, buddy, it ain't gonna suck itself." I mean, that's shit people would say to me.
My rent is going to pay itself, so if we can work this out, I'm sure.
Right, but I do want to beg to differ. I am a member of the NRA, and I know, according to the city of San Francisco, the NRA is a terrorist organization. Okay,
I can see their point of view, but I'm not making that point. My point is that they've promoted a culture of recklessness and fear with guns.
They haven't, though.
Oh, they have.
Done. The NRA has done more.
Commercials. Look at their commercials, dude. It's nothing but fear and ignorance promotion. Nothing but.
I mean, I could agree with you on this, and I love you, right?
Yeah.
Nothing that we'll ever disagree on would ever, make me stop loving you.
On everything, it would suck. We'd be each other. That'd be weird.
I know, and that would be weird. That would be exceptionally weird. There was a funny skit on Saturday Night Live a couple of weeks ago, and it was the girl. What's the blonde girl who's Trump's little toady there?
Kate McKinnon?
No, the other one, Kellyanne Conway.
Oh yeah.
So she works for Trump, and her husband is like a total leftist.
No, he's not leftist at all. He's ultra conservative federalist.
Right.
He's ultra conservative. He just doesn't like Trump.
Right. He's a Trump hater. Right. That's true. Ultra conservative Trump hater, though. Mm-hmm. And it's like, how do they get along? And it's just like they start having these fights, and it's like their arguments just intensify, like their sexual tension. So it was just funny how it was portrayed on Saturday Night Live.
Well, if you recall, before Trump was paying her, she was totally anti-Trump too. I think it's just a ploy. They're just playing it off because he's giving them both massive popularity. And she's a Trump supporter. They're basically just making bank off of it, and they're just both acting their parts out. Because I follow her husband on Twitter, and yeah, the stuff he says, he's just going for, he's shock value ultra conservative. Everything he says against Trump, yeah, it's I mean, there's really good arguments to be made against Trump. He's not really making them. He's just making the ones that everybody jumps on and agrees. He's making the popular points.
Right. I mean, that's I don't want to sit here going off on the nuances of Donald Trump. Reason why.
Can I say one thing? He should have been impeached on day one for the Emoluments Clause. The Emoluments Clause is an unqualified and sweeping rule in the Constitution that says if a foreign individual can come into any one of your businesses and hand cash to somebody, and you take that, your employee or whoever takes that cash, that's an impeachable offense. And it says very clearly it's an impeachable offense, and he's done that every single day, all over the world. That's the fact that the Democrats are impeached him for the Ukraine thing means they're not trying to win. They're just doing it for the show and the distraction. If they wanted to win, they would have gone Emoluments Clause. Because if they put that in front of the Senate, it's a very simple thing. And in the Federalist Papers, even when they wrote about the Emoluments Clause, they said this is an unqualified rule. There's no wiggle room in any direction. If the person handed cash to somebody who works for you and you took it as profit, you're out. You're gone. And Trump's been guilty of that every day. That's what they should have taken him for.
Well, pardon me. Sorry, I quit smoking.
They don't want to fuck with their own money coming in, so they don't want to do that.
Well, I think though the Democrats trying to impeach Trump
on Ukraine was the most arguable, debatable fucking point they could have made.
Well, I mean, Hillary selling all the 20% of the U.S. uranium to Russia. I mean, is that conspiracy?
The profit off of it. She didn't actually give them the uranium, and she didn't have anything to do with it. That was 5 agencies to sign off on that. But they shouldn't have done it anyways. But that's not. That's also that's another one where there are a bunch of spins been putting on it, whatever. But that's it's what she should have been busted for was the fact that she carried an unsecured phone into a secured area of the State Department every single day,
right,
and that her server didn't have a fucking password on it.
Right. Well, if that was me or you, right, wouldn't we be both going like?
I would never fucking do that. I don't even get anywhere in my systems with an unsecured system with an unsecured phone on it. Yeah, into the most heavily spied upon building in the world. The fact that the first day she walked in with that phone in her pocket, somebody read it and went, "We have an unsecured phone in here," and used that as a fucking as a inside link into everything on day one. The moment she walked in there with it, because once you get past a certain level, once you get past a certain area, basically you have your fair cages, you have all kinds of different security, but once you're inside of it, there's no security. Plus, she's writing messages from her phone in there to her fucking server at home that has no password on it. Judicial Watch covered that one. There was no password on any of her stuff because she didn't want to hassle with passwords. No password means no encryption on anything either. So she's doing plain text messages through her server at home, which has stuff that shouldn't even be on the server, and all kinds of classified information on it. Yeah, no, every government in the world was in everywhere at that moment on day one. And every hacker too. I was in jail for hacking, otherwise I'd have done it myself.
Oh my God, what you just said, I think I just orgasmed in my pants a little bit. I mean, really, I think I have like a little wet spot in my underpants at this point.
But that's what they should have gone for that. But nobody ever said it. Nobody ever said she didn't use a password, even though it's been known. If somebody just said she wasn't using a password, without a password on your iPhone sends plain text messages everywhere. It does not encrypt anything because the encryption is based off of your PIN or password. Without it, you don't have any. So that's what she was doing.
I really need to come see you and like have all my electronic devices like, freaking purged and like, because God knows how much pornography that I've been, pornography, yes, pornography.
Oh, is that pornography? Sorry.
Well, I sound like one of them. Hey, how much pornography can you watch on your telephone?
Porn sites are the safest sites you could possibly go to.
What's that?
Porn sites are the safest sites you could possibly go to. The porn industry is always, their IT has pushed the envelope. They created streaming video. They created monetization. They created all the things that we use every day today. All the major things we use were created by the porn industry. They funded it, they paid for it, and they did all the development on it. You're gonna get a virus by going to a church site, which is done by their friend Bob.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right about that. And the porno industry was like making billions of dollars a year, yet they're giving their shit away for free.
Yeah.
They
knew that there's going to be no security, so they want to get the advertising money. They figured out how to do it.
The other thing is they got to find the 20% of the population that's addicted to it.
Oh, they have to make 100% of it addicted to it, which is pretty easy. I like porn.
I love it. Oh my God, I love it.
I've actually gone full circle though. I've gone full circle. I went like further and further into the train wreck stuff. Now I'm just watching stuff where two people are emotionally supporting each other. Like, holy shit, was that a hug? Oh yeah.
My thing is actually like British MILFs in lingerie, very similar to the lingerie, actually identical in some cases to the lingerie I sent to you.
Anytime you want to send me some, I'll send you back pics, and I'll even speak with a British accent if you want me to, but I'll end up going into a Scottish one because I'm better at that.
Oh my God, I got to tell the entire world, if I was ever going to do a live cam show, it would definitely be with you. I don't know how many people would want to watch something like that.
I once had 600 people watch me sleep.
What's that?
I once had 600 people watch me sleep.
I am familiar. I never was into cam shows until I started. I mean, not cam shows, but like live streams. There's a girl. She's trans also. Her name's Sienna Grace. Huge fan of hers. Really huge fan of hers. And she had her YouTube channel. She used to stream sometimes for 20 hours a day. And I got to tell you, I was one of the guys who was sitting there because I didn't have anything to do since my parents moved to Tennessee. And I would just, I don't have any reason to leave the freaking house. My kid moved to Vermont, It's like, why do I have to, I don't have to go anywhere anymore. I got enough food at home. I got cigarettes. If I got enough cigarettes and frozen pizzas to last me for a week, I will do nothing but leave the house. Anyway, so she did her YouTube live streams, and she's one of the reasons I got into YouTubing, was because I was like, well, if she can do it, I can do it. And she's got 6,000 subscribers. A year ago, I had 13 subscribers. Now I got 170 something. So my channel. Oh, I know you.
500,000 now, yeah.
Oh, I know. I just saw Master Ken, a thing he did on some other guy's live stream. Master Ken, first of all, is the funniest freaking guy.
Oh, he is. He really is. And in person, he is too. He's fucking hilarious.
Can I ask you a question? In real life, what's his name? Oh,
Matt Page.
Matt, right? Is Matt always the character, or is he?
No. He's chill. He's usually chill. Like he's the opposite of Master Ken in every way. He's chill. He's funny. He's really, really funny. But he's chill. He's subdued. He's like a 4th degree black belt. Whoop anybody's ass on the street any day of the week, anytime.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah,
I know he's
an absolute
a real
badass who doesn't talk much and just he's just very chill. Yeah.
I know he's a real martial artist.
Yeah. There's a couple videos where he actually does some real stuff, and it's amazing. Yeah.
What I love is how he knows so much about the subject that he can make fun of it.
Oh yeah. Well, plus in Albuquerque, there's every other dojo's a McDojo. So.
Well, he just said that in Albuquerque. He on this thing. He's like, yeah, well, this guy in Albuquerque. They do their what's it? Brazilian JJ, Brazilian BJJ, right? Yeah. They do their BJJ naked, and I'm just like BJJ. That's so he's but the way he does it's like Master Ken here, and he does it with the straight face.
Yeah.
The thing is, the guy's got great eyes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the eyebrow thing is great.
Is he as good looking in person as he is on video?
Yeah. He's hot. Yeah, he's totally hot. Yeah. He's not as like slick back hair, and he doesn't have the porn stash. He tried growing it out for a little bit, but then it got weird because he started looking like Master Ken all the time, and he shaved it off. Yeah, but it was, no, he's but he's great. He's the most humble person I've ever met.
I since you turned me on to that, I think I've watched every episode. All of Master Ken's privates. Okay, they're the funniest ones. Where he brings the people. The funniest one was the tantric sex girl. Did you remember that one?
I caught that one. Yeah.
But is Todd?
Todd's the instructor at the dojo they use. Todd's actually instructor. Todd's like a 10th degree black belt. He's a fucking badass too.
Oh, he really is.
Oh yeah, he really is. Yeah, he really is. He does the Joganway system of fighting. So but he's a badass. Yeah, both of those guys together. Like I can't think of any group of people that could beat him up. Honestly.
Really?
They're unstoppable. Plus, they're fucking around when they're doing those crotch shots. They can take them.
Well, I actually recently got a chance to use an Ameridote move that I learned from watching the videos, and it was the reverse pelvic thrust. Exactly. Thrust of freedom.
It works well. The side to side works too when people are too close. I use it on the bus and places like that. Yeah.
Well, I was at the bar at the Red Shed Brewery. Okay, it was our last time we played there, and I got to tell you, it was Oktoberfest, so it was the biggest crowd Atomic Rewind has ever had. So I went because also I got to tell you something. If you watch the video, because I put a video up of that show, I'm drinking a lot of beer.
I gotta watch your channel one of these days. Send me a link.
I will, honey. I will send you. I gotta watch your channel one of these things. God, it's like I love her more than anything in this world, and she's like, yeah, I have to watch your channel. And that's the thing, though. People who really love each other spend so little time paying attention, to each other. It's like, yeah, you're great, whatever, yeah, I'll check it out one of these. Like the guys in my band.
I'm just remembering you have sent me all kinds of links to your channel. My bad. I'm sorry. I'm just like, yeah, I'll get that done in a second, but I'm busy. I'm sorry.
I hear you. But anyway, I was at the bar at the Red Shed. Okay, and the thing about the Red Shed is, one, the toilets were backed up that day.
Oh, lovely.
Okay, so everybody knows my little thing is I have like the pre-show intestinal distress.
Yeah, nerves.
Yeah. I every show. I've been doing this for almost 40 years, but before every show, it's like I gotta go to the bathroom. I gotta have diarrhea because. It's just my stomach.
You get excited. You would hate it if you didn't.
Right. I get nervous. And it's not even like nervous, am I going to get apart? It's like, no, is my amp going to blow up? Am I going to break a string and chop somebody's head off?
That was amazing. Yeah.
So anyway, but I was at the bar, and the water at the I usually drink water at all my gigs because I don't drink at gigs anymore for the most part. Even when I'm getting free booze, I just don't do it. And what was that? Update your background app setting. Okay, no, it's not.
Yeah.
Okay, that's. I
That
thought
means
it
the
was
FBI
my
is watching
battery.
you now. That's all.
Yeah, yeah, I know, right? Anyway, so at that show, I was drinking the only beer I can drink in microbreweries anymore, anyway, and I can't even drink microbrew beer anymore because it triggers my gout.
Oh yeah.
So I can't have my two favorite things: beer with a lot of yeast in it and pizza with anchovy. As soon as I eat a slice of pizza with anchovy, my foot swells up and it's like kills me
Because
because
you
of the
shouldn't be
gout.
putting hairy fish on a pizza anyways. It's hairy fish.
Oh my
It's
god! Don't
bad.
talk to me about hairy fish, baby.
It's hairy fish.
That's
Sorry. Fuck it.
I'm
Don't eat
thinking
it.
about.
Don't eat it. Just fuck it.
Oh yeah, I know, right? Oh my god, I haven't had hairy fish in so long. So anyway, it doesn't matter. So anyway, I had to go to the bar, and what I do is since the ice comes out of an ice machine which is filtered, I say, give me a glass of your Cherry Valley Porter with ice.
Mm-hmm.
And the ice waters down the beer. So that beer is like 7% alcohol. So if you have 2 glasses of it, you're pretty much like freaking. I mean, for me, I'm feeling good. Most normal people, they would be completely bombed. So I just have them keep
7%.
packing with ice. It's like It's like really high volume alcohol.
I drink
It's
whiskey,
like
so yeah, it's not. I mean, it's a lot higher.
you don't drink anymore.
No, I haven't drank in a year now, but I've been drinking. Yeah, I just drink whiskey. I don't see anything below 80. Nah, I'll go for like 110 for whiskey. That's good.
Jim Beam and Coke. I mean, my
Diet Mountain
favorite
Dew
thing.
and any of them, yeah.
But I can't do the Jim Beam and Coke. The only thing I can do right now is clear liquor with fruit juice, or you know what, V8. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Okay, V8 is bad. It's not good.
well, the thing I like about the V8 is it doesn't give me diarrhea. It gives me a nice bulk, full bowel movement.
Lovely.
And yeah, I know I shouldn't be
I'm
telling you
blanking
about.
this out of my memory later. It's just this moment is gone. I have
Right.
Photoshop memory. It's great.
Anyway, so I was at the bar trying to get a beer, right?
Yep.
And we were on a break.
Oh,
so
lost you, audio. What's up?
You lost my audio. Can you hear me?
I pulled the cable out. My bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, I walked to the bar during our break. So obviously the band stopped playing. Now the audience wants to go get a beer too, right?
Yep.
So I walk up to the bar and I get in and I yell at the bartender, a good friend of mine, Tony Gastone. He did a couple of guest
Tony
shots
Gastone?
with us.
His name is
Tony Gastone.
Gastone.
G-E-S-D-O-N-E. Great guy. Love him. American hero, 2-time Iraq veteran. Guy got blown up twice. Now he's got some medical issues and seizures and stuff like that from that, but great guy. So I yelled, Tony, I need give me my regular, because he knows, put a glass of ice, pour beer over it. I'll drink it. This way, when the ice melts, I get hydrated. So these people were pressing up against me, right? And it's like I'm being crushed against the bar.
Yeah, and I know the people in the front row of this audience feel.
No, I know, right? So what do? I use Master Ken's move. Thrust of freedom. And I just thrust back. People get away from you when you start moving.
When you push your butt into people, they suddenly realize they don't want it.
Yes, exactly. I didn't even have to go side by side. So anyway, that's my story about I love Master Ken. Thanks for turning me on to. It was I was watching it and I never really sat down and watched the credits, and then I was watching and it said produced and it said Andi West, and I was like, oh my god, there's my girl. That's my girl. Yeah, baby. I'm so cool. I know someone who's famous.
I'm not famous. I'm not famous at all. No.
Well, I know.
And the show's never made any money. Like all the money gets put right back into the show. So it's like, but yeah, it's like 500,000 subscribers, hundreds of millions of views. But any trying to film a season costs like $200,000. So,
really?
And YouTube does not pay shit. I'm sorry. I got the end of the dojo. It's like it's the thing. They get paid X amount of money. And live entertainment. At one point in time, we had millions of views, but we weren't monetizing anything. But even though we weren't monetizing, YouTube was still sending messages constantly about how they weren't going to monetize the video. It's like, what the fuck? You can constantly dislike that. Yeah, we actually pulled in live, and we pulled completely off YouTube because it was just bullshit. Every 6 months, on contract with every band that they work with, they have the right to use the videos for promotional purposes, like on YouTube. But every 6 months, somebody new would start at Eel Rock Entertainment and go through YouTube and just hit for copyright violations. And YouTube, no matter how many times we sent them the contracts and showed them and proved to them and got the copyright violation taken away, 6 months later, they'd forgotten about it completely. So we're just going through that constantly. Barry doesn't have time for that shit. I don't have time for that shit. Nobody does. So yeah, just pulled everything off. Well, it's still stuff on YouTube, but we just ignore it. So it's like, there's like a Backstreet Boys video with like 100 million views and some other shit like that. But we just basically ignore it and just filter out the copyright violations that get sent. And everything's on Vimeo now.
Well, I hope you guys keep doing it. I am gonna order a copy of his book.
The book is brilliant. The book is great. You'll learn
Tao
everything
of
you need to
Master
know.
Ken.
Yep, it's actually it is really good. I hope that it was good.
I do want the autographed copy, so I'm gonna have to find Master Ken's website.
It's just enter the dojoshow.com. That's all.
But the thing is, I would like an autographed copy by Master Ken and you.
I can call him up and get you one. That's not a problem.
Really?
Yeah, I'll call him up today.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be so cool. Just tell him I'm a huge fan. And I gotta ask you one last question. And this is a question
I'm
on
not
everyone's.
To talk about it, but okay.
Okay. Are Master Ken and Todd an item?
No, they're not. They're not. But I've been hoping so for so long. Like I know I'm friends with both of them on Facebook, like the real people, like Todd and Matt, and they put up like they had this like Facebook friendship thing, like they've been friends for 7 years, and it so looked like they were boyfriends. I'm like, I'm so proud of you guys for finally coming out as who you are. And I know in the martial arts universe, it's so hard to come out as gay, but thank you guys for coming out and standing up for yourselves. And they just responded, yeah, well, it was about time we had to. But no, they're not an item. They're not.
Okay.
But they're so cute together that you think they'd be perfect match, but they're not. They're both straight. Or as far as I know, but yeah.
Okay, well, you just ruined a bunch of young boys up here in New York's.
Believe whatever you want to. No, I still comment on the Facebook feeds, on everything like that. I still talk to them as if they're a couple and they've been together for a long time and they're monogamous, and I'm so proud of them. I still talk to them like that, yeah. But as far as I know, I'm being satirical.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a.
They would be. Oh my God, they'd be a badass.
Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa, and yes, America, Master Ken and Todd are not a couple. Wow. Oh, it's too bad. Hey, the other thing I want to ask you is Rachel. Mm-hmm. Is she? I mean, is that just an act, or is like?
Oh, it's a complete act. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, it is. Because I think she's freaking great. She's just like, she'd be like the perfect like psycho girlfriend. It's like.
Yeah, she's her character is fucking over the top. It's brilliant. Yeah, she's great. I can't remember. Off the top of my head, I can't remember the actress's name. But I'm never there during the filming of any of the seasons, so I'm never there during the filming of anything. I just do the IT stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. I hear you. It's a brilliant program. It really should be on Comedy Central.
Oh, okay. It should have been picked up a long time ago. Like I when I first got to Albuquerque, season 1 had just come out, and I caught the show when I was clicking through YouTube, going just watching it, and I realized I saw the background, and went, this is in Albuquerque. So I tracked down the production company, called up Matt, and said, let's meet up and whatever I can do, because I just come off of being in Portland, working with Star Child, and doing the other web series. And came in with anything I can do to help, and I set up their initial social media strategies, the first like 3 websites I built completely. The one that's currently up there is a Shopify site that I helped build. But we had helped out through all that stuff. But that's my end of it. Is I just
keep talking.
Okay, I'm still
keep talking. I gotta go get my charger. Hold on. Like I said, I was gonna have to keep talking though. Tell me more about the show.
Well, no, we let's see. For a few years, we actually had it running as a fourth wall type. The website was it looked like an actual dojo, but we used the Yale Cemetery as the address for the place. So I keep meaning to go by there and see how much mail they got for them, because they got hate mail like mad, and also fan mail. And we had the address listed for the dojo was actually the cemetery on Yale here in Albuquerque. So so we're kind of bad for that. I called up once to see if they'd ever heard of the show, and the dude on the phone sounded pissed. It's no longer that way, but it was that way for like 3 years. But yeah, no, that's the other thing is, but like I said, I do the IT and web. So I get put down as an executive producer. I don't act or anything like that. My kids are almost done with film school, so we'll see. Maybe they'll start doing their own thing. You can't find your charger, can you? Okay, I'm going to pause this real quick because I need to check to make sure this thing's actually recording properly, so I'm going to stop it now. Give me 1 sec.
What's up, baby?
I'm going to check. I'm checking. No, stop. No.
Okay.
No.
Let me just plug in.